Okay guys, so we're going to be modeling this cockpit here today, right? So let's get into it. Okay, let's start modeling this thing. First thing I'm going to do is add a cube. I'm going to move it into place here. I'm going to scale it down. We're going to delete these faces here. I'm going to make a cut in the middle here. I'm going to go into auto merge and snap, and I'm going to snap these vertices together here. I'm going to delete half of the model here. I'm going to add a mirror modifier, and I'm going to add subdivision surface modifier, and I'm going to give this a crease of 1, and now I'm going to try to get the proper shape. Drop this on the geometry. Okay, get this into place here, get these two into place here, get this into place here. I'm going to take my knife tool and I'm going to make a cut as close as possible to this shape here so that I can get this in here like this. Actually, select both of these here, in here like this. Just select these two here, and then like this, and I get back the shape here. Just check my reference for a second here. So this should go straight down to meet this. I'll just pull my point straight down to meet this here, because I don't want it at too much of an angle. Let's work on the other part of the cockpit. What I'll do is I'll select this edge here. I'll give it a crease of 1. And then I will drag it out like this. I think I will give this a crease of 1. Let's give it a little sharpness here. Pull this point out here just to make this nice and straight. What we're going to do, at least take this part here, and we're just going to duplicate it. Let's just flush out the rest of the cockpit. Extrude this out to here, give this a crease, extrude out to here. I just want to get this back piece here. This the one. I know this is looking a little bit off here, but when we do the individual cockpits, we'll deal with that. So all I want to do, I want to try to model this back piece here one time. Get this down to here. I will select this here, and I will extrude, drag it about to here. I will go into point mode, cursor to selected. I will rotate. After I select, I will go to turn off these, 3D cursor, rotate, and rotate this down to about here. Go back to bounding box, drag this down to here. I'll make a cut in the middle here, and I will drag these points up to here like this to get the curve. I'll even go down a bit because that is how it's supposed to fit. Try to straighten up the stuff, get this crease going here, and I will try to get back this shape here. So we have all the shapes. Check optimal. Right, so when we subdivide, we should be able to get back all these shapes here, except for this one here, which I'm going to do now using the knife tool. All right, so let me just get some space here so that I can make this cut. Okay, knife tool, and just get it down to about here. Get the crease. We'll just steal a little space from here, and we'll carry it inside. Carry this down a little lower. We'll leave it like that. Yeah, carry down this a little lower, and I will knife from here on the Z with a crease of 1, and just drag it out a bit, and I will take these 2 points here and just drag them out down a bit so that it will fit probably inside this last compartment here. All right, so basically this is the shape we're looking at. Right, so this is how I go about fleshing out my models. This looks like it needs to come in a bit like this, but all of that we're doing the compartments individually, so all of that will be rectified. All right, so it needs to come in a little bit more. This one here needs to come out more like this, and this probably needs to come in like this. Should be able to get the shape there. Like this. Scale 1, 0, taking that saving. So what I'll do is I'll select this centerpiece here. I'll give it a crease of 1. I'll just bevel here, move this in a bit here, and I will add a line here, just like Just get these into place here. I'll make another cut here to get back this rounded shape over here. And I'll make a cut here to get back this rounded shape over here. And just get back this rounded shape here and get back a bit of the rounded shape here. That should be it here. So I think we have all the shapes that we need here to get the shape of the cockpit here. So we just have to do the same to the front here to get back our cockpit frame. All right, I'll just make a knife cut going from here straight down on the Z axis. I'll give it a crease of 1. I'll just make a knife cut from here to here. Try to make it the same depth from here to here. Give this a crease. Save. So everything should basically be lined up here. What I'll do is I'll just pull these in a bit. That's all the hard work done there. See how these reference images are inaccurate. So I think I'll leave it like this. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to separate the front window from the cockpit. Just select everything here. Be separate by selection. And just call this the front window. Save incremental. Just to have a backup from this spot here. Okay, now that we have our front window separated here, go up to 3 levels of subdivision. It's a lot, but we're trying to get rid of any kind of artifacting. It will really be difficult with these areas here. Let's check how much subdivision. Alright, this should be enough subdivisions. Let's apply the mirror first and then apply the subdiv surface. Alright, this looks a lot better. What I'll do is I'll just turn off this for a while and let's get rid of some of these lines. All of these edges here and dissolve them. Do the same for this area here. Dissolve. Okay, now that we have our front window separated from the rest of the cockpit, we just turn this off for a while and try to get back our shape here for the cockpit frame. Separate by selection. Okay, now let's start to bevel these edges. At first, I want to get another mirror modifier. Done here. These here. These here. Looks like we have everything there. The bevel, one subdivision. Add a subdivision surface to check. Shade it smooth. Alright. No distortions. Out of isolation mode. So this will be front window glass. This will be the front window frame. I'll just add solidify. Alright. I will apply the solidify. Apply the mirror. Apply the solidify. Delete faces. Delete all of this stuff here. Top view. Brush. Almost flip. Negative 0.003 just to get it in the middle there. These edges here will get less or no distortion because it's on the outside. The frame had the edges on the inside. These edges are on the outside, and that doesn't give a lot of problems. Let's apply this solidify and start selecting these edges here, which should be much easier. Just bevel these here. We didn't even have to inset. So that's what I was telling you about. Outer edges are much easier to bevel than inner edges. And this is our window here, first part of the cockpit. So if we turn on the rest of our cockpit now, we can start working on that. So what I'll do here is I'll just separate out this part here. I'll just duplicate this, turn it off, delete. So I have to try to get these shapes in here. Let's just create a cut in the center here and delete these vertices here. We need to get this point up here. In order to do that, select here, Shift S, cursor, Control Alt X, origin to selection. First we have to select it into selection, origin to cursor. So now we can mirror on the Y. Let's see how our geometry is looking. To here. Yeah, we can make all the cuts we want here, but not in this direction. We'll have to leave it up to the subdivision. So we should have it here. I need it on Catmull Clark. The subdivision. Let's get rid of some of these lines here. Dissolve these edges here. Mirror. Put these into place. This up a little bit. A cut here. Move it down. Kind of like this. Cut this one here. Dissolve. So I think I want to give it one more subdivision. Need to crease all these edges here. That should be enough. This is the amount of subdivision we will be getting. New amount. So let's just apply these. Add the mirror and the subdivision. Leave it at 1. Get rid of these extra edges here. And I'll try to separate the frame. Selection. Let's make sure everything lining up. Cool. Turn off the glass for a while. Select everything. Apply the solidify, but I want the solidify to be in the negative. That way it can slide over the cockpit if necessary. Turn off this. I think the best thing to do now is to start the beveling process. So what I'll do is I'll mirror everything like I did before so that I wouldn't have to do too much selection. Select these, select these, select. Thought I didn't do the inset. Delete words. these here. Add switch mirror, mirror to the X and the Y. Select these edges here. On some models, I just select the whole thing. It really doesn't make a difference. But I just wanted to show you the right way to do it. So we'll select these outer edges here. And bevel like so. As this is basically a flat surface here, I don't think we should get any shading issues. So we'll add our subdivision surface and drop it on top. Get rid of all of these creases. Shade smooth. Yeah, need to do the glass now. Cockpit A. Cockpit A. Glass. Save file. Save incremental. All right. Okay. The only thing I need to do is I need to mirror the glass because I didn't select this piece down here. Well, I knew I was going to mirror it anyway. So let's isolate it and select on the top. So let's get the inset. Should I do it before the mirror? Mirror, apply the mirror. Inset. The thickness to be about half of this. I think 0.04. I think 0.004 is what we used the last time on the solidify modifier. Add search solidify negative 0.004. Press 23. Glass. Isolate. And we'll do the same thing so that we don't have to do too much selections. Select here, delete. Faces, select all these faces, delete faces. Go to the side view now. All of these faces here, faces, add search mirror, mirror it on the X and the Y. That's a better thing to do. Let's go into this mode and just select these like this. Select click away. Select this here. Is just the bevel. Right. So we have our glass. Select all. Get rid of the crease. See how it looks with the front window and the glass. Alright. So this is the workflow that I use. It's a bit tedious, but that's how aircraft modeling is. Any kind of automotive modeling or anything like that, machinery, tedious. But I like jigsaw puzzles. Okay. So we're going to duplicate this cockpit here. Cockpit A. Take off this, drag it to here. So what I did, I took the origin that was up here and I Control Alt X and I put the origin at the bottom. Now with snapping turned on, I can snap it to this one. And now I will carefully scale, holding down Shift to get it inside here. So we'll call this one Cockpit B. You may have to scale it on the y-axis just to get it back like this, and use Shift to slowly do it. We get our third cockpit here. Slide it over here, and then slide with this turned on to snap, and do the same thing. Go close as it could and start a scale. Take up that scale using shift, try to get it as close as possible. And then go on the Y, try to get it inside there like that. Okay, so I think we might have some minor adjustments to do. So this will be cockpit C. This one will slide inside of this one. And this one will slide over this one. May need, so that's supposed to be the action there. We have to scale down like this. You just have to keep playing with it till you get it right. Okay, so I decided to do a little bonus lesson here on how to do these cockpit doors a little more accurately. But the only way that it's possible to do this process is at this stage where we haven't cut out the glass from the cockpit frame yet. So let's go ahead and try to do this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this canopy here, and I'm going to use snaps to snap it right here, right? So this will be canopy 1, and this will be canopy 2. We can always make the third canopy from the second one, because that's how we're going to do it in stages. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just delete some of these extra edges, dissolve all these extra edges. All right, and now I'm going to face mode, P, separate by selection. Right. So this is the canopy 1 glass, and this will be canopy 1 frame. Let's add a solidify. We want it to be negative, right? So let's go now and apply the solidify. Let's delete half. Back in our mirror so we can start doing the bevels. I think we need these creases again. Start selecting all of these. Go into this mode here and start selecting these small edges here. Bevel. Onto this. Select the glass. Isolate the glass. Solidify. Negative 0.003. Isolate creases. Start the selection process only on half of the model to make it easy. Add a mirror, go into edit mode, select the edges, bevel, add the surface. That's the first cockpit there, and glass. So do this in the opposite direction now. Alright, so let's just separate the separate by selection. See canopy 2 frame, canopy 2 glass, be separate by selection, canopy 2 frame, canopy 2 frame. Okay, so we're going to insert this Okay, from this point here where we have it at this stage here, I think we should, what I'll do is I'll select both of them and duplicate. Alright, I'll just slide it over to here and just use this gizmo here to slide it to the edge here to make the third canopy. So this will be canopy 3 frame and canopy 3 Jesus glass. So we'll continue working on the second one. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to insert, and let's add a solidify. We'll apply the solidify. So this canopy is in the correct position to slide under this one here. We're back into isolation mode. We have applied the solidify. So the only thing to do now is to go to the top view and mirror. And we'll add our mirror and mirror it on the X and the Y. So we'll have less work to do. I think I'll get rid of those creases there. So let's start the selection process. So go into edge mode, select these here, select these here. So now we can do our bevel. Okay, forget to do the outer edges here as usual. Control B. Alright, that looks like everything there. Come out of isolation mode and let's work on the glass. So first thing I'm going to do is add solidify to get the glass to the bottom here so that I can delete the top of the glass here. So I will select it, select, shift select, select, shift select, delete the vertices. So now we're left with this thing at the bottom here, this piece at the bottom here. So now we can reapply, we can reapply our solidify, and 0.003 is our measurement. So I'm going to apply, I'm going to go into the top view, I'm going to go into edit mode, select half the model, delete it, and add a mirror, and then delete vertices, select all these edges here. Select these edges here, go into this mode, subsurface, go to isolation mode. Alright, so the glass is flat against the inside of the cockpit here, just like this one. And we have our second cockpit. So it's going to be the same process for the third canopy here. We need to add solidify. We have to select, apply the solidify. No, forgot one step. You have to insert again, add modifier, search, solidify. You have to select the outer edges and the outer faces and the inner faces here. Delete the faces. Right. So we have the frame at the correct position. So we're going to solidify in this direction now. Solidify. So instead of going this way, we're going in negative. Negative. 0.001. We can apply the modifier. We can go into the top view and get a mirror. The good old mirror modifier on the X and Y. So we have less work to do. Select the outer edges. Go into this mode. Select these here. And we can bevel. I hope we did everything correct. Surface. And come out of isolation mode. So everything is at the correct position here. So we just have to do the glass now. We have to add a solidify to the glass. You have to delete this is 0.02. That should bring the glass, the bottom half of the glass straight down to here. So apply the solidify. Select these areas like we did before. Delete the faces. Delete faces. So all we have to do now is apply another solidify and make it 0.003 to get the same depth as these others here. So now what I can do is delete faces, delete faces, draw around X and Y. So we have these edges here. Right. Just give it a bevel like that. Add subdivision surface, and there we go. All right, so when we select any canopy, we'll be able to drag it under properly, and it won't intersect in any way. So this is a bonus session I gave just to make your stuff look a little more professional. Right? I hope you guys happy with that. The other way that I showed you was a quick and dirty way of just copying these canopies and then scaling them. But this is a cleaner method that you may like to use because it's more accurate. You know, you don't have to fiddle around with any scaling or anything like that. You know, everything just fits out of the box. Okay, now we gotta work on this. So what I probably have to do is this a bit. Carry this up here, size up to go, carry this up to here. Try to get back this shape here. I think it will be easier if I separate this piece here. Pull this in like this, pull this in like this. Select these on top here. I'm gonna apply this. These two, I'm gonna apply this. Now, this is going to have to be a really dense subdivision, right? Really dense because of the curvature. There's just a lot of curvature. You won't be able to control unless it's highly subdivided. So let's just check to see what our optimal display is. Two should be enough. That looks pretty dense there. Just have to make a little altercation. Just turn off the cockpit C here. Shift S, cursor. Use the cursor. rotate, because it may have a shape something like this. So what I'll do now is I'll apply the mirror and apply the subdivision. We have to get rid of this line here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my knife tool. See, cut through, just in case. Cut this here. Select the line here and dissolve. Supposed to select all of these. So we'll select this, save, P, selection, save. Now we're going to select this, apply. Resolve these two edges just for the inset. Yeah, that's enough. Insert. Oops. Add. Mirror. I have everything covered. Level. Is going to go in the same direction but just 0.003. So I'll just, alright, so what I'll do is I'll apply the mirror and apply the solidify so that I can just get rid of this top face here. And I have to do this here. Mirror, apply the mirror, solidify, and do it negative 0.003. So we in business. And switch for mirror. These edges are easier to do, so we don't have to do any inset or any kind of stuff like that. So I'll just select these quickly as I can. And subdivision surface, so it's smooth, and there we go. I think this is a bit too much. I don't really worry about it, but if you think like you get something like that and you think it reveals a bit too much of the inside, you have to apply this. You can apply the mirror and then scale the individual origins. Right. Save, back to bounding box. And there we go. Right. So that's how I go about modeling stuff like this. And when it comes time to control, go set to selected, empty plane axis, and we can put a control. Okay. Alright. So now we can slide our cockpit across. Scale up a bit. Scale the whole thing up a bit. Right. So now don't get that intersection problem, because I don't want to yeah. So this is it. Alright. Yeah, you just have to keep playing with it till you get the right size. So if you want to start cleaning up the model to get back all quads, you can just go into the geometry like this, select these vertices here, merge at center, right, and then just go into edge mode and dissolve the edge. Select these, merge at center, dissolve the edge. This is an interesting one here. Just go into base mode, merge at center, and what we can do is go into simple and just remove this, dissolve, merge, and just dissolve this edge and select the point and just GG and move it away from the edge. Select this other one, GG, just move it away, and that should fix any issues. So go back into Catman clock. Right, it's nice and smooth. Okay, so this is how it looks with some materials on it. That's a little glass. So you just keep scaling and playing with them until you get it the right size. And basically that's how I model a cockpit. Okay, you can like and subscribe if you like this video. Later.